So moving on, right? Next up.
I believe that's me. I got some fight news. So talking about MMA and UFC, let's talk about boxing. We got some upcoming Legends boxing matches. File this under more shit, right? For legendary fighters. Will be fighting way past their primes in a few months. Now, it was originally rumored that it was going to be Tyson Holyfield, and I was so psyched to see that, right?
Right.
Again. Not because I cared one way or the other. I just wanted to see two older, out of their prime, former top-level champions, world champions, go at it. You know, I want to see what
plus their history.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now, yeah, and of course, you know, the whole ear biting and everything. But that fell through. That something with the paperwork and the timing that just never panned out. And I guess Holyfield was not going to wait. He's like tired of waiting, so he's going to come out of retirement anyway. He's going to be fighting Kevin McBRIDE. Do y'all know who Kevin McBRIDE is?
Right. So the last fight Tyson had professionally, right, was
before
against
he
McBRIDE.
quit. Yeah. Right. And then he just said, you know what? I'm not going to do this anymore. Basically after, I mean, Kevin McBRIDE, he represented Ireland in the Olympics. So I guess he was supposed to be some great white hope against Tyson, but he fought Tyson out of his prime when he lost like 4 or 5 fights, and then he fought McBRIDE. And Tyson basically said this: I realize I don't think I have it anymore. I don't have the stomach for this no more. I don't have that ferocity. I'm not that animal anymore. I'm not going to fight again. I'm not going to disrespect the sport by losing to these low caliber fighters, right? That's basically what he says. Now, McBRIDE
said.
Right. And you can see it. This is after the fight interview, like right after the loss, they're asking him, what are you going to do from here? And this is what he said.
Right.
And then he didn't fight again after that.
Right.
McBRIDE is a giant. Like, he has size. He was considered a mediocre fighter, even though he has a great record, because they say he fought bums. Right, he didn't fight top tier fighters, but he did win all his fights.
Right, he was cherry picking.
And he's just a big dude. He's 6'6" and almost 300 pounds, 298. Wow. So he's a strong man, basically. Now, when he fought Holyfield is big. He's 6'2", 226. He's considered big against Tyson, right?
Right.
But Holyfield is actually going to be the little guy in this fight versus McBRIDE. He's going to be looking up to him. So that's
Lennox is taller than Holyfield, isn't he?
I think Lennox is 6'5" or 6'2". He's pretty tall.
Yeah, he's pretty tall.
Yeah,
he's tall. He's definitely taller than me.
Yeah. Put in the comments if we're wrong. Like, he's 6'3.5". Y'all don't
so
know
who's the taller? Like, who's tallest? Like, I know because amongst the top 3 now. So we got Deontay, who lost to Fury. Fury was tall. He's taller than Deontay, and Anthony Joshua is tall too.
We talking about the old boxers. You talking about current boxers?
I don't know. I was just asking. I'm just talking.
Anyway, I don't think height, has a lot to deal with it, but it does give you a length of reach. And weight, definitely. That's why there's weight classes, because weight makes a big difference in fighting.
I think it does have something to do with it, but it's not the skill thing. It's just like how far is my fist from my body when I punch you.
Yeah, it's all about proximity, right? So it's the reach, right? And if you fight tall, right? Or if you that's a whole boxing thing. I'll talk to you about that later.
Now, these are both big, strong dudes. I mean, Holyfield's strong, right? Now, being that they're all older, all the Legends fighters, some of that skill might have faded. They can't move as fast, but they're still big dudes.
In the past 10 years, have you seen Holyfield talk? He should not be fighting anyone.
Yeah, he shouldn't be fighting. And plus, he's got like cardio, rhythm of the night, something like that.
His brain is so shook up. I'm sure he's had like a billion concussions. He should not be fighting anyone. He can't even speak straight.
Yo, man, I love Holyfield, but I don't want to see him in the ring.
Well, Holyfield took the McBRIDE fight. I mean, do you feel that way about Tyson? Tyson has told TMZ that he will be fighting Lennox Lewis. That is his next fight, and it's in September.
Yeah, I don't feel that way about Tyson. Tyson is very lucid. Doesn't seem like he's lost anything. In fact, he seems super sharp.
Yeah, he's durable.
But his podcast is very.
But Lennox Lewis is younger than him. And
he's out of shape.
Who's out of shape? Lennox?
Yeah.
I haven't seen them. But depending on what the rules are, if the rules are, you know, it could go bad. All of these fights, right? It seems like there is a different level of danger to them, right? Because they're so old and
it's added.
Yeah. So, you know, I don't know if they're going to be wearing headgear. Is there no knockout punches? You know, that type of BS.
Like, I don't think Tyson has that. It can't.
Well, when Tyson fought Roy Jones, they opted out of the headgear.
Yeah, but originally they had said that they was going to have that, and it was a no knockout rule, right?
Yeah. Then they totally changed all of that.
Yeah.
When you're older and you've got an ego and you were a world champion, and you might get hurt, you could actually die. How are you going to tell them, oh, just punch medium, don't punch super hard, no knockout? No, you're going to be like, I don't want to die. I'm punching this as hard as I can.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? How can you control it? That's like telling a battle rapper, listen, don't say anything bad about his mother or his girlfriend. That's off limits. And no cursing. Don't use bad words. Just say medium.
By the way, no biting.
That's in the contract.
That sounds like a proper rule. Right,
but word. So look, last time they fought,
don't hit him as hard as you can. Don't
exactly.
What are you talking about?
Exactly.
Last time they fought, Tyson knocked down Lewis twice before he got knocked out. And when he got knocked out, I mean, he got up on the 11th or 12th second. Like he got knocked out, but he knocked down Lewis twice. So that was a very good matchup, even though he lost. You know, it's not like Lewis cleaned his clock.
Yeah.
It was a really good fight. I went back and watched that fight again. That was a good fight. So, you know, what do you think? Who do you think is going to win? Do you guys have a dog in this fight?
I like Tyson for this one.
I'm always rooting for Tyson.
I like Tyson for this one because he's been active.
Yeah. I think after the last fight, the Roy Jones fight, right? He was like, "Ooh, I could really do this. I'm getting into this, right?" So I think that he might have a leg up in terms of training.
Yeah. You saw Jones was winded too.
Yeah.
Jones was like, "Oh, I don't know about this."
and I think that he felt friendly towards Jones, so he might, you know, subconsciously he might have been holding back a little bit. I don't think
they were both cool with each other. They like respected each other.
I don't think he has that for Lennox Lewis, so you know, I don't think he'll be holding back any. Like, you know, I think the switch is on for him. Hopefully, I want to see Tyson do well.
Right.
I'm excited about that.
Word. We haven't heard from the Lewis camp that they definitely signed a deal, but that, you know, I hope that goes down. Now that's the Legends League. That's Tyson.
I'm calling Lewis camp right now. Hold on.
Hit him up.
And that's on Triller too, right? Because the Roy Jones Tyson fight was on Triller.
It was.
So I think this one goes that way too, and it'll be interesting to see what they, you know, they do a lot of concert stuff or rap stuff in between.
Right. They got the verses
cards and stuff. Well, they do have verses. It'll be interesting now that they have verses if they intertwine these boxing things. With
So there was a rap performance before the Tyson Jones fight, right?
Yeah, there was quite a few. There was a couple of them.
I can't remember. It wasn't memorable to me. I don't know. Type it in, y'all.
So listen, fellas, we can't go out of the fight segment without talking about another legend, not in the Legends League, but Money Mayweather.
Gotcha.
He's going to fight a YouTuber, as you guys know, Logan Paul. Now, correct me if I got the details.
Is it Logan? It's Logan, right? Not Jake. It's Logan.
Right. And that's what's confusing because he's fighting Logan, but at the face-off, he got into a fight with Jake, right? So this is what happened. Basically, so they were at the face-off, and I guess Mayweather's been talking this stuff like, I don't care, I'll fight both of y'all on the same night. I'll beat one and beat the other. I don't even need a break. Like he's like, y'all not in this level of tier or whatever. So and I agree with them. I really think he could. But at the press conference, at some point, Jake got up in his face, and they were nose to nose. It wasn't like on stage, the face off with Logan. It was like a little side thing.
He interrupted,
but of course, his cameras.
Mayweather, as he was like, you know, he was, you know, for the camera. He was like, oh yeah, you know, boom, boom, boom. And then somebody asked, you know, do you really think you could take both of them on and say, no? He was like, absolutely, absolutely. And then homeboy walks over. Go ahead.
So now Jake is in his face. He's like, oh, like, yeah, and he's talking back and blah, blah, blah. Now Mayweather got a white hat on, right? So Mayweather's talking to him and they're going back and forth. And then and Mayweather says something. Then he goes, oh yeah, well, I got your hat. And he snatched his hat off his head, turned around and ran away. But
he got like 4 steps before the long arm of one of his
security.
So he runs away and everybody piles on. So now they're scuffling. Now, what I heard, it's hard to see on the footage. We'll throw something up so people can look at it themselves. But Mayweather kind of got him in a yoke. In a headlock, and then security was trying to
like, don't play with me.
Some security, probably Mayweather's people, security was trying to like throw little shots, and other security worked for the place. We're like, break it up. We're gonna call the cops. Break it up.
Yeah,
you know, trying to really break it up. But he got busted up. I think he had a black eye, and
he had a cut on his nose. He shouldn't have did it.
And then
but, you know, it was good. It was good for
setup.
publicity.
So, well, he said it. He said that he was going to take. He
put up a clip.
Yeah.
Really? And now, after the fact, he got a tattoo on his leg of a hat, and it says "Gotcha hat." So and he showed that on social media. So this is fight hype, basically.
I mean, but it's their life, right? This is what Logan and Jake were doing before they even started fighting. They were
professional trolls.
Like, they were professional trolls. So he's just trolling, and it's working because, you know, his brother and Mayweather are getting paid a ton of money to do this fight. Right. Mayweather, you know, people are like, why are you doing this? You're ruining your legacy, fighting these clowns. You're making it a circus and, you know, disrespecting the boxing,
the culture,
world, right? But he's like, yeah, I am all those things, but I'm retired and I can beat any of these clowns. So why not take the $100 million? It's $100 million.
It's $100 million.
Dollars. Now, hit the horn for that $100 million.
Basically, Michael Jai White was recently. This just dropped, you know, a day or two ago. A Vlad TV interview. You know, he always goes on Vlad.
I saw that.
Said that he's trained with him. He's been in the gym with him. Now, Vlad clarified. Vlad said, "Did you spar with him?" He said, "No, we didn't spar. I'm not saying that, but I saw him training and we worked together. I gave him some pointers. I was coaching him a little bit." And in my opinion, he will not lay a glove on Mayweather. He's not going to have the speed to catch Mayweather. He's just not going to be able to do it, let alone hurt him badly or knock him out or anything like that.
Right.
This is facts.
But right, for me, the reach. He's so much taller. He has such a longer reach. So yeah, he might not be able to, but if he does, right, or if he can keep his arm out and keep Mayweather away from him. Right, and Mayweather can't hit him. That's an advantage, right? And if he gets one good punch in, and he keeps Mayweather at bay because Mayweather can't get in, then you know that's a problem. But
the thing I like about Floyd though is he's faced people taller than him, you know, bigger than him, stronger than him, and he always is able to give him different looks.
True.
So he can fight tall, right? Or he can sit on his punches, right? He can widen his legs. You know what I'm saying? He's got that Philly shell, right? He's got all of this. He's got too many tools. He's got ring knowledge, and he's got speed, you know, and he's got power. So
you can only hit a person if you can hit
Logan and bottom line, Logan, right? He's got to punch his chance. He's got to punch his chance. He's got to punch his chance, but he is no way. No, I mean, he's not even anywhere near that level.
I think Logan wants to win, right? But if he doesn't win, he doesn't care because
he don't care.
Paid to fight somebody that it can be labeled the greatest fighter of all time.
Right? He's gonna be like, "Grandpa, did you get your ass beat by Mayweather?" "Yes, I sure did. I got $400 million. That's what you owe to the best schools."
That's right. Yeah, man.
It's kind of like Conor McGregor when he fought Mayweather. I mean, he went 10 rounds at least. He lost. He got respect for having stamina to go for it, and then he did gas out at the end. If if Paul can stay in the ring and not lose in the third round or second round, if he can go the distance and do okay,
the caveat though
Mayweather was better, he'll get some respect for lasting.
Mayweather carried him.
Who?
He carried him.
Which fight?
He took him 10 rounds.
Oh, Conor. Okay.
He took Conor 10 rounds.
You're saying he didn't obliterate him. He gave him time.
He carried him. You know what I'm saying? He gave people the show. It wasn't like, you know, and if
he may do that on this fight,
he's going to. Of course he's going to. Because he's got the potential to make another 100 million with somebody else.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? He did it with Pacquiao. He did it with Conor. You know what I'm saying? He's going to do it. He's going to keep carrying these people.
I think
people going to pay.
Yeah. I think Mayweather 100% absolutely doesn't want to lose his record, whether it's professional or you know, this, you know, whatever you want to call it. I think he 1,000,000,000% wants to, like, you know, kill this guy and win. But if he doesn't, right, he has the out to go, I didn't really take this seriously. It was a cash grab. I don't care about this. This ain't boxing. This is, you know, XYZ.
Exhibition match.
Yeah.
I don't think his ego, his personality could take, you know, even for that money. I don't.
You say that, but then he'll be like, "Yeah, I lost, but did I?" And then he'll pull out a bunch of Louis bags with all the cash in it and be like, "I always win, no matter what. I always win." Trust me, he's a troll too. You know what I'm saying? So
he is.
If he loses, he's going to try to, at the very least.
You guys remember when we was in Vegas and you guys came to see me in Vegas and we went to Dre's, and Mayweather was there with his people.
I don't remember that. I remember seeing a Tyson fight in Vegas. I don't remember the Mayweather.
I remember that one too. I think he was fighting. That was way back, G. I think he was fighting Tommy Gunn. We were
in Vegas.
We was in Vegas. We was at the MGM. I was doing stuff for the Magic convention.
Is Tommy Gunn white? Is Tommy Gunn white?
Yeah,
you Tommy Morrison, right?
It wasn't him. It was a black fighter that I saw Tyson fight. But and it was a first round knockout. It was almost a first punch knockout. It was a disappointing fight.
Right. You guys, and then another Vegas, time we saw Zab Judah.
You know, your memory of what happened, you know, deteriorates over time.
I was out there again for Magic, and we went to a club, and one of my friends went over to Zab Judah's table, right? And I was at the bar. And I'm at the bar chilling, talking to this girl that was there. I was doing, like, you know, stuff for the Magic convention, and this huge man, right? This huge man starts walking over to me, to the bar, right? But I'm talking to this girl, whatever. But he's walking to talk to this girl, and I'm like, "Yo, what's going on?" And she's like, "Oh, it was Suge Knight." Right. Okay. So he's like, so he goes over to the girl. He's like, "Hey, what's up? Whatever." She apparently knows Suge Knight, right?
So I was like, "Oh, thank you." Exit stage left.
So anyway, Zab Judah's at his table, right? And me and my friends are like, so one guy that knows Zab, because, you know, we all from Brooklyn, goes over to Zab's table, and we're like, "Yo, I'm not going over there. Like, you know, we'll get our own table, or we'll just, you know, chill on the dance floor, whatever it is," right? But one guy decided to go over to Zab's table, and apparently he might have said something to one of the girls that Zab was with, and Zab didn't like it, and it just went bad. I'm not gonna get into I'm not gonna get into specifics, because this dude is very cool, and I don't want to put his business out there, but it went bad, and we didn't see him until the next day. When he,
but yo, fellas, I got 2 questions for y'all about this whole boxing thing, and then we gonna get back into hip hop. But is it me, or does anyone notice the similarities between these boxing face-offs and the battle rap face-offs? Because to me, the whole thing with Mayweather and Jake Paul and Logan Paul reminded me of the Cassidy Hitman Holla face-off. First of all, they get these people there to talk trash about each other and get people hyped to want to see them fight. And then some kind of street aspect. Oh, there was a little fight, unofficial, and, you know,
it's a template, right?
Right, because that's what, remember,
that model.
In the Cassidy Hitman face-off, you know, they kept getting more and more street, and then Hitman Holla like walked off. He felt like someone was gonna jump him. He went and got his backpack, act like he had a heater in there, like, yo, I'll air this whole place out, you know. And then they had everyone, yo, break it up. And it's kind of like it's a theatrical. And then they said later, they're geniuses because they know how to sell the fight. And that's what the boxers do in these face-offs. And it's the same thing.
You have to. It's what they do in boxing, is what they do in wrestling, is what we do in hip-hop. It's all, you know, it's the theatrics of it all gets the audience hyped to see what's going to happen. Like, you have something to talk about until you have something to talk about, right? Like, right. That lead up that makes you really want to watch it. So for sure, it's all the same. It's all, and sometimes it's real, right? Or sometimes people hype themselves up to make something real, or to make a spectacle.
Sometimes it's reality TV. Sometimes it's real. Sometimes it's reality TV.
Yeah.
Right. So my second question, though, more serious, is: do you think that this type of thing, that these face-offs and the whole idea of like a world champion like Mayweather fighting a YouTube troll blogger, dude, or even just fighting new up-and-coming young, no-name boxers or fighters, is it bad for the sport of boxing?
I think, as Blitz was talking about earlier, he's retired. You know, it'd be different if he still was, in the organizations, right? If he was in WBO, IBF, or whatever those leagues. But he's retired. He's like retired. You know, he can come out and do these exhibitions, because that's what it is an exhibition.
Right. And the same thing with the Legends fights, though. And I'm just saying, is all this good? Is the good that more people are going to see boxing that didn't normally tune into every fight, but now they're like, oh, what's this drama, celebrity stuff going on? TMZ's reporting on it. Now they want to watch the fight. Or is it bad because it's cheapening the actual sport and the skill and what's going on in the game of boxing? I mean, it's a
novelty. It's a sidebar from, what's going on, because there's some really good fights that's coming up. Like Canelo is fighting, right? Some really good fights coming up, man. So, it's just a sidebar.
I look at it as a separate thing, but that's me, right? I don't think it hurts boxing. I think boxing is hurting boxing because they're not doing enough to put the sport at the forefront right now. So because of that, the clown shows like this get to shine because boxing is not doing enough to make sure that their sport is, being watched enough or viewed enough.
It's the promoters' fault. It's the promoters, because they're not, you know what I mean? They're making those fights, who are like,
I mean,
they're not making the fights that people want to see.
Ali. They did this in the Ali era with Don King and promoting and Thriller, Manila, and they always had some kind of good guy, bad guy, or beef, or, this guy represents the Black Power movement and this guy's a sellout or whatever it is. It was always like,
you can't,
the drama and the antics. Sorry.
I feel like boxing waits too long to introduce the layman, the audience that doesn't follow boxing all the time, to the fighters that they think are going to become great fighters, right? As soon as you find the talent, you should be showing us that talent somewhere, right? Whether it be on Instagram or Facebook or a Netflix show, something that makes me care about these fighters, whether they win or lose, so that they have somebody to champion later on when they do get that title fight. They're not doing enough to make you care about the fighters, because there's a lot of fighters that I think are great that I don't care because I don't know them well enough. You know what I mean?
Right.